All right. Letting you all on. Clivey Ince, you're always so reliable, Clivey. You're always on time. Just want to acknowledge your time management skills, Clivey. There's Heathy with the background. Stakesy with that fucking smile. Greg Bates, I need my iPad to fit him in.
Might be there in body, mate. I'm always there in mind.
Get a voice for radio.
There's Chris. Alex Woodgate. Zelly. We love Zelly.
Hello.
How are you, darling?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. I hear you've been hanging out with my friend Lee.
I know. What a wonderful, beautiful human being she is.
She is, aren't we lucky?
Oh, she's gorgeous.
Yeah. Not the best hair day for me today. I do want to apologise around the grounds.
Same here.
Got in nice and early, and now I've got to go put a suit on. It was 6:30 in the morning, too early to put a suit on. Got an auction today for Mr. Duck up at Kempsey, which is exciting.
Good.
Hello, Jared. Good morning. I've spoken to Geoff Rowe this morning, so he can't be too far away. Tashi and I shared a moment about breaking people's souls today. I enjoyed that, Tash. It was a great moment.
Breaking people's souls.
Mr. Adam. Jeffy Jowett, good morning.
Hello, buddy. Hello, everybody.
Morning.
Mate, we've done.
Bill Bennett, champion.
Yeah.
Hey, Geoff Rowe.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're all well. Stokesy got his little brother's shirt on, looking mint.
Yeah, and that's that. How about the smile he has? I love how you're sitting there with the fist under the biceps, Geoff. That's the old.
That old chestnut. Just be careful, Stokesy. You'll get a cramp there, Chief. Just pull your chest. Yeah.
But mate, the other day I jumped on. I think we all know this, but I've got to share it again because it's so fun. I jumped on Brendan's the other day. Brendan's Zoom. I never looked so good. He's the only guy I know that's got a filter on his own fucking Zoom.
I didn't know they existed. That's mate. That's a $200 fine immediately on the spot. It's a spot fine. Boom.
The spot fine. Mate, I was talking about bad hair day, and then you jumped on, so I felt a bit guilty about having a whinge. I should have shown gratitude.
Yeah. You should. That's right, mate. I'd kill for that fly away.
Geoff Rowe, mate, we've done a lot of feelings this year. We've talked about value a lot. We've talked about different things. I talked to the port sales team about stories, especially when it comes to listing presentations. Mate, for most of you, but not all of you, Geoff built a pretty amazing business called Body Trim. And when you look at the health industry, that's exactly what people are building everything on. It's around the story. Why do some products in anything, when you think about cars or hair or freaking gel or deodorant or aftershave, it's generally the story that we buy into. Yeah, it's the story. And Geoff Rowe's really helped the guy. I don't know if anyone follows him, but Jack Henderson, who's built up. He's come from nowhere and within probably 18 months built a very, very solid profile. And it's built on story. And we know that not every real estate brand allows their team to be individuals. And I certainly express that I want you guys to individually have an impact in your marketplace with a different brand, because that's what united makes us so strong. So Laura will work from the top to keep an overarching arch, so that what I like in a way call it cousins. So we all have a similar feel to a certain point, but then the individualism of each team member. So Geoff Rowe, especially around the listing presentation, we'll probably cover off in different other sessions, but social media, this fucking and tell me how your blood feels. Oh, street record, highest price ever. Suburb record, like fucking street record, freaking number 13 in the street record. Like, I'm pretty sure 2% interest rates in the market weren't invented by the local real estate agent.
Huh.
What
No.
what do you think when you hear that, and what does the consumer really need to hear?
Yeah, sure. So what I thought I'd do is I'd give you guys, from a marketing background, 20 odd years of it, marketing, advertising, and like what best practice is, and put it into marketing terms so that you can then see that will substantiate what I'm about to say, not just my opinion on certain things in real estate, but best practice marketing. So body trimmers, Dave touched on, we had meteoric success there, and 1 million people bought my program around the world over like 5 years, and we did over $100 million in gross sales for that product alone. And that was all built off the back of this, right? So I'm not guessing. This isn't sort of theory. This has happened. Now, the way that I did that was, and again, weight loss is a red ocean. Most people have read blue ocean strategy, a red ocean, blue ocean. Weight loss is a red ocean. Real estate is a red ocean. There are sharks and blood, and it's crowded, right? So how did I cut through? It's the same as you can. I did it with what I call social proof. I did it with success stories. I did it with creating experiences. And so getting back to Dave's question, record price, this and that, everything I see in real estate is feature driven, not benefit driven, right? And that's not how you market things. Consumer facing products, you don't market so much with features, you do it with benefits and how it makes people feel. Now, to correlate that to real estate, every time there's a transaction, you're creating two experiences, the buyer and the vendor. And not many people focus on that. And that is a blue ocean in an otherwise world of red. That is what if I was in real estate and I owned a real estate office, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be completely re-engineering the marketing piece around that with agents, because no one does it. So you stand out and people feel it. Remember, they say it's not it's how you make them feel, right? It's not what you say, it's how you make them feel. This makes them feel different. And it makes them feel different subconsciously. They don't even realize that they're doing it. That's why it's so powerful. So, for example, when, I don't know, Sharon sells a house and then that allows her to go around Australia and live her dream and do these things. That's an experience that you've created. You got to talk about it. You got to share it. That builds your personal brand. It's incredibly powerful. No one does it.
So EG, Geoff, Sharon was hoping for 1.5. We got a 1.7, and now she's bought herself a convertible and she's going around Australia for 12 months. Never thought she could do it. That type of thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lovely photo of her in the convertible going, "How good's life?" and her hair's blown away like yours is this morning. And it's a beautiful photo, and rock and roll. Like, that's what it's all about. And this is, again, so the way I launched Body Trim with that, I got, say, 40 people on a pilot program, half a dozen of which got life-changing results, 30, 40, 50 kilos. They were my launch stories, success stories before and afters that catapulted the brand. Same thing. People are like, wow, that's this. Because everybody wants to, I used to say, we're not in the weight loss business. We're in the hope business. Hope, hope, hope. Every Monday in the call center, every Rev Up, 100 backpackers in a call center. Rev Up, boom. Like, that was what it was. We sell hope that it's possible. So do you. Hope that it's possible that you can live your best life. Hope that that's what you're doing. And the house is a byproduct. Whether you're getting into one or getting out of one, that's what you're doing. Creating experiences for two people every time, not one. And again, if you do that well, it is, and by the way, if you want repeat referral clients, this is how you do it. It's this experience built off emotion. That's how you get repeat referral business. That's how you get sticky with your clients, this sort of thing, not just the price.
So with Geoff, I mean, we've obviously got our clients' experience and we talk about that. But we've also got to show ourselves so that they know who we are as a brand. I sold this, I did this, I listed this, I sold 10 this month, rah, rah, rah. How do we show, and look, and then we can go too far. Like if I see one more real estate agent cook a fucking steak in Sydney, so like, you know, what's the crossover? What's that medium between showing our life and yeah, how do we do that?
Right. So it's a bit like, well, it's all part of a content strategy, right? So again, to reference body trim, it's all about ratios. So I would have a ratio in place of maybe like, you know, for every one post or bit of communication about what you just sold or record price or whatever, you might have 2 bits of content that are benefit driven, emotional. I don't know if that's the ratio, but you just got to get a framework. You guys will know, Dave, you'll know better, and other people will know better than I will. But at body trim, for example, the content strategy ratio I had was like, for every email that was selling, promoting, pitching, there were 4 bits of content that was value. So there was a recipe, there was a video cooking, there was something else, a motivation, 4 to 1, right? So 4 bits of value for every 1 bit of selling. Now, most people do 0 bits of value for all bit of selling. See the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was huge. And that was how you I built a massive, below the line revenue to the database every month, because I had change in my pocket, massive value that was going out to them, all this stuff. And then I'd do an offer on a protein bar or a cookie or a ball or something new or whatever it was, but I gave heaps of value. It's the same here, rather than just pitching and, you know, this is what we did. You want to share a bit of your life again, but the ratio of that, like it's not like a bloody reality TV show. So it's not all that. It's not all cooking steaks and it's not whatever, but you humanize it, but you give them, you know, some stuff that they need as well, so they can have both.
Yeah. So if you had 1 bit of life, 2 bit of real estate, which is value based,
yes.
a 3rd call to action, and another bit of life, you know, something
Perfect.
like that is a very open strategy, depending on who you are, might work.
Yes.
And then, you know, like obviously we're all different. Like if we look at, obviously people like to see family and all that sort of stuff, but you know, for the young guys, you know, it can get very egotistical very quick. So should we, I know I just came up with this now, but should we really around our hobbies that we're sharing about us more than, you know, fucking the old freaking shirt off with the 6-pack, but you know, or the freaking you know, the Porsche key or the
the old cliche.
The business class flights.
Yeah, the business class ticket, the Porsche key, the shirts off. Yeah, all that stuff I'd probably give a miss too. But like where you can, like, yes, like lifestyle hobbies that people can relate to, that show that you're human and that you live your life, that you enjoy your life, that you actually have a life.
But yeah, so e.g. Brendan with the horse, Stokesy going for a surf, Alison maybe, you know, picture with the dog. You know what I mean?
Mate, anyone that's got a dog, get them in the pictures, because people generally love dogs. And if they don't, fuck them.
Batesy eating. We'd get Batesy eating. You know what I mean?
Oh, Batesy eating. Oh, that's sorry, Batesy. Jesus, hey, that's a bit rough. But yeah. Look, whatever your pastimes be, whether it's eating or otherwise, a bit of that's good. You know, with a bit of real estate in there, and that not. But and again, like, you know, WIIFM, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? You got to think, if they're looking at it, they're going, what's in it for me? He's got his shirt off. That's fucking great. Wanker. Right. What's in it for me? Nothing.
Yeah.
So what's it? Yeah, that's the key. It's not like a place to grandstand. It's a place to give value and what's in it for them. Now, pictures of the dog and that, what's in it for them, it makes other people feel good because they like that. It's a nice feeling. See, when you do things like that, like Brendan with his horse or whatever, no one feels less than. This is a good test. Whatever you're about to post, does it make people feel less than, or does it make them feel better for the post? Okay. Horse key, less than. Shirts off, less than.
So there is a line, and let's challenge that for a sec. And I suppose it depends what marketplace you're going for. But I thought that, you know, that $1 million listings for Gavin would probably be a career suicide, but he's actually never been busier. So, you know, if I wanted to show success and I'm taking, you know, and just putting a story up of being at a nice restaurant or, or, you know, maybe being in a nice hotel. I mean, do we need to show some level of success, Geoff, to show that we're winning? I mean, do people want to see that? I mean, is there a line, or it depends who we want to be?
Yeah, I think it depends on the strategy. So we've got to work out what the overarching strategy is. So Gavin's like, you know, one agent out of however many thousand in Australia in the one niche demographic that it suits.
Yeah.
So again, Jack couldn't do in Port Macquarie what he does in the eastern suburbs. You get fucking rocks thrown at him.
Yeah.
Literally, like absolute rocks thrown at him. Like he does all sorts of good stuff in the eastern suburbs of Sydney where it works. It's relevant to the demographic and the strategy piece. What doesn't work is a Frankenstein job where you do all of it.
Yeah.
So that brand strategy is critical, and you got to stay congruent to that. So if you're talking about animals and humility and whatnot, next minute the Rolex makes a cameo appearance. There's a disconnect.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look at sort of, you know, Ollie Laver's under Gav, who's a really humble guy. I mean, he's got that portion. Sometimes it pops up. It sort of works with Gav. But if Ollie turned up here and wore the 3-piece suit, got out of a Porsche freaking of $600,000 house out of the back of Clifton, he's going to look like, it's not going to match. Where, you know, you know, jumping out of the Triton, nice ute here, really clean and tidy, you know, not saying it needs to be in the background, but that fits the brand and the marketplace. Because at the end of the day, you know, if you drive, you know, or I was going to talk about, let's leave Porsche drivers alone. You know, it's not fair.
Yeah. I was going to give you an example. Like if I was working with Gavin on his brand strategy, I'd be doing more of what he's doing because it's a perfect brand strategy for where he is and his personal brand and this demographic. And it differentiates him, separates him even more in that marketplace. Perfect for him. Perfect. Smart. But you got to be able to identify that. Who am I? Where am I selling? Who are my customers? Those sorts of things. So that show, his image, all that perfect fit, right? And not many people can emulate it. So he stands out even more. Like that's a home run.
Yeah.
It's all branding. It's no like good and bad. There's just good and bad branding. And that's the key.
So like if you look at Lismore, for example, it's sort of, people from Byron have moved out and sort of quite elliptic now. So, you know, that sort of recycle, that sort of, you know, health type of approach would suit that, you know, looking at that marketplace. Where can I mix with the people that are in that sort of a community? Yeah. And Evans Head, surfing's perfect for him, you know, at Evans Head. Yeah.
Yeah. Like really, really good point. What I'd be doing, I'd be thinking about, right, which market am I in? And really, who are these people? What do they do? Like, do they surf? Do they run? Do they And I would be building my messaging in and around that. Now, not fake, but I'd be very aware of what they do and I'd build it accordingly. Again, where Gavin lives, it's all that shit. So that's what he does. It's in the, I live in there as well. It's just that it fits. But doesn't matter where you are, whatever the area you're in, look at the landscape and market position accordingly so that you will relate to more people.
Now, Geoff, like social media is not, I mean, it's not all that we do, and it's not really, it's only like, we're talking a lot about it today, but to me, it's a bit like the business card. Whenever I'm getting a business, I start with a business card because it's the start, it's the core of the business, and you build on from then. A business card doesn't define your business, but it's a good starting point. So today, talking about the social media brand, I'm not saying it's only 10% of your business, but it's a good start because then you can follow that brand in everything you do inside your business. But there's probably some people on here that are going, Geoff, I don't need a social media account. I don't believe in social media. This is not what I want to do. You know, I want to have my own private life. But you sell real estate. Like, it's a public business. Like, if you had a client going, well, I'm not doing social media, it's not important, and I'm not even going to get into that space, what would you say to them?
Well, it would depend on a few things in that if they've got a decent list and they're actually servicing the list all the time, but most people are not, by the way. So like, I would say that there's always a place for that social media presence, but it's probably too much focus for a lot of people, right? And wrong, and not enough of the basics. And again, the money, like acres of diamonds, most people have got in their current client database list that they're not farming because they're just hunting new business and forgetting about what's right under their feet. So that is like it's a double pronged strategy. It's new business and it's repeat business. But a lot of people don't. You got to keep an eye on both.
Yeah. Awesome.
Really important. And that's like, well, it costs X amount of dollars to get a new client. It costs nothing to get a repeat client because they're already in your database. So just making sure that dedicated call time, checking in on your old clients and whatnot, how you going. I hope Stuart O'Brien does it like a superstar, like champion, best practice. Boom, he's going all right. Success leaves clues, like that sort of thing, critical. And then, of course, the social media presence. You don't need to turn into someone who just, it's a time vampire. So, use it strategically, carefully, accordingly.
Yeah. It's not everything. It's not everything. Like, I'm sure if the guys, like basically, if he sold 100 houses this year, if there's more than 2 or 3 he's got from social media, but what it is, it's a good reference point because when they're in the lounge room, they're probably checking his branding or they've probably seen it.
Right.
It's a bit like your CV, really. And I think if you think of it like that.
So
when we're talking about now,
that's what I'd be using it for. Like for a lot of people that, I'm like, it's literally 10% at most, but it's a brilliant qualifier / credibility piece. Look, just check out my Insta. You can see some of the wins we've had and whatnot. Bang. It's great for that.
Yeah. And then when we're talking about brand, brand needs to follow through, doesn't it? So, on Sunday, the way you're behaving down the park, to then how you are in the business, to then how you are, like it's a true thing, isn't it? It's got to be all through. Like Gabs and Wanker at work, at home, at the pub. Like it follows right through. It's not like you see him in his freaking Bonds t-shirt on the weekend.
No, mate, he's very consistent. He's very consistent, Dave. That's for sure. And mate, pulls up in his Lamborghini 4-wheel drive, parks in the driveway of some bloke's joint, gets out. I love it. He just fucking does his thing. It's just very, very consistent.
I want to know how a 5-foot can drive a Rolls Royce, but anyway.
Well, he's got a little step ladder to get into the 4-wheel drive. That's how he does it. Your little remote control job. But no, in getting back to what we're saying, sorry, I got distracted.
Consistency in brand between business and personal and home.
I've been talking about this a lot lately with people, mate. Off-field governs, dictates on-field. And what someone said to me Monday at 7 a.m., my first client of the week, he goes, mate, how the fuck are you on every time? And it was a great question. And I said, mate, great question. And I unpacked it for myself and him. And I realized that I've got ratios everywhere in my life. I know what I've got to do each day, Saturday, Sunday, to recharge, reboot, be perfect Monday at 7 a.m. I know what I have to do that. And I do that. So there's no guesswork or, luck. So that I know what I've got to do weekends. And that means like alone time, recharge time versus socializing, work versus personal. So bang, Monday I'm on. Right. Otherwise, I'm not on, and that's shit. And that's how I define success: being on every time, not half on. So that's congruent with brand, messaging, and sort of performance.
Cool. Well, I think that touches that, but a bit of a segue to finish off just really quickly. You had a good post. I think it was yesterday. And like, even if you look at young kids now, they've got so much stimulation in their life. And I think you put up something like one podcast a day and find some quiet time, like I think you've often said to me that you're like a race car. You're revving at fucking 7,000, 9,000 RPM every single day. And of course you're going to blow a valve. We need to de-rev that engine at time. So to finish off, and especially at this time of year, I'm seeing a bit of frustration in the team and a bit of tiredness and things like that. It's really important, to get those revs down. Yeah,
and I actually said one podcast a week. That's
okay,
how,
yeah. Sorry, I did say, yeah.
And I had a client this morning at 6 a.m. He's like, mate, that's a game changer. He goes, you don't know. And so I had a bunch of people message me on Instagram and like, mate, you don't absorb it. Everyone's like, Remember Sizzler at the buffet, all you can eat? That's what people are doing with podcasts, but it's just spilling down their front on there. You can't get any more of the buffet in, mate. The bloody thing's full. You're just giving your best, but you can't get it in, right? Just because it's all you can eat buffet doesn't mean you can digest it all. That's what everyone's doing with podcasts. One a week. This bloke this morning, 6 a.m., he's like, mate, he goes, like now I'm coming up with great ideas, creative, critical thinking, strategy that I couldn't do because my head was just full. Create the space. If you've been in real estate for more than 5 years, I reckon there's a pretty fucking good chance you know how to do it. I'm not Nikola Tesla, but I know that much.
Geoff, you nailed it, mate. You nailed it.
Mate, always a pleasure seeing the A team. And Batesy, I hope you're not on the online to Jenny Craig now because bloody Dave threw you under the bus. You're looking mint, mate, if you're on there, champion. Don't worry about that. Just do your best. And yeah,
he popped up and gave me the finger not too long ago, Geoff. Like,
yeah, right, did he? And then
popped up. So
exited.
at least I've got him to do one squat today. You know what I mean? I've got him to do one squat up, down. So
mate, no, all that stuff. You know how to do it. You've just got to create the space in your mind and you've got to trust that you know how to do it. It's doing the little things well every day. Like that's the one secret. Just not, there's no new thing. There's no new way to list in a changing market or fucking the amount of bullshit. Honestly, it's real estate. You know how to do it, build relationships, do the little things well and you crush it.
Perfect. Nailed it. Thanks, Geoff. Have a good week, mate. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Toodaloo.
Bye-bye.